Welcome back in, and wow, man, it was a wild weekend of football from the NFL to some damn upsets and rivalry week of college football. Is Ryan Day finished? I mean, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to get into, so much. I mean, wow. We're in conference championship week already, which is crazy to think about that. Conference championship week of college football. That's what we'll be talking about this week a little bit. We got some review to go over, obviously, in NFL Week 13. Bills clinched the AFC East. That's how you know, hey, it's that time, man. So without any further ado, I think we're going to hop right in. We're going to go over some NFL news, NFL recap, go over some of the games, some big moments from the games, stuff like that. And then we will continue as well. After that, going over some college football rivalry week stuff as well. And that's pretty much what today will be. Going over the NFL rivalry week and then looking ahead a little bit to the conference championship. And then we'll talk a little bit about the NFL playoffs and what that's looking like. Also, too, I want to apologize in advance and for the last few days. If you've been wondering why I've been like nonstop getting up and all that, just nonstop movement and all that. Your boy just learned recently he has a hernia in his groin. So I've been trying too hard to find y'all winners. Been working too damn hard. But no, it's nothing crazy. It just sucks because I'll admit, for anyone who's had a hernia before, they suck. For anyone who's had a hernia in their groin before, sucks to sit. There's just I just can't sit in some positions. The way this chair is cooking, it's going to be rough. So I'm definitely going to be moving around a little bit during this episode. Don't be shocked about that. And I just want to get into that. I wanted to apologize in advance because, if you're wondering why I'm moving, that's why. Your boy's performing on a little bit of injury, which, hey, better than some people. But no, without any further ado, let's hop right in. I think we should talk about maybe the Thursday game. The last USB not recognized. What? Now loading. Week 13. Thursday night. We had Thanksgiving, baby. We had some Thanksgiving slates to talk about. Lions-Bears. Wow. And I mean, wow. By the way, this is going to be interesting. We're about 3 to 4 minutes into recording, and we're already starting to get a little bit of pain. It's going to be one of them days. But no, hopefully this will be fixed by the end of January. Consultation next week. Hopefully I can get surgery quickly, and then your boy will be back and good to finish off this playoff run. But, yeah, like I said, we're going to talk a little bit Thursday night football. We'll talk with Lions-Bears. This is honestly a really, really good game. Lions dominated at the start. Bears ended up coming back to finish it. Should have damn near won the game. Wow. The Lions are dealing with a lot of injuries. It is honestly insane how many injuries they're dealing with, especially defensively. I got a little graphic for you I took a screenshot of that I found very, very fascinating. So there's the amount of injuries on the Lions defense and everything. So for their defensive tackles, they have 2 of the 4 starting. For defensive end, all of them are injured. Every single defensive end they started off the year with starting injured. And then linebacker, Jack Campbell and Ben Nyman are the only ones left. Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes, Malcolm Rodriguez, Jalen Reeves-Maven. Everyone's injured, so that's just absolutely insane to think about. That they've dealing with that many injuries, because that's enough injuries to where now it's going to be like, okay, this might actually become an issue. They might not be able to hold it off long enough, I guess, because, I mean, the second half of the game, Caleb Williams looked amazing. He had a really, really good half, and he just played really, really solid. The only issue was, Matt Eberflus fired from the Bears for more than just the end of debacle. The game-ending debacle, I mean, holy fuck. That's the best way to put it. I mean, that's just a horrible way to end it. Even regardless, they wanted to get the play snapped to 18, Eberflus said. That clearly did not happen. Overall, just a bad game for the... Bad second half for the Lions, but they escaped with a win, which is crazy. Just absolutely insane that they were able to escape with that win. They damn near should have not won that game at all, and that's just going to be something looking forward to now. I mean, they get a week off, and they at least play on Thursday, which is 2 days from now. I don't know why I had to think about that, but interesting. It's going to be something to keep an eye on because, like I said, that defense, they won this game, but, man, they did not feel like they won it, especially in that second half and especially with all those injuries. We might do this one standing up. Giants, 20. Cowboys, 27. The biggest shocker from this one, nothing really. I won't lie. Nothing too crazy. Once Drew Lock got announced that he's going to be the starter, I think for me personally, that was like, okay, so this is a game now. I'm sure there's a lot more people who feel very similar to the way I do. But yeah, the second that, sorry, I had to lower this a little bit. But the second they got basically Drew Lock starting, it's like, okay, so this might become a game a little bit. Like I said, it ends up being 27-20. I don't know. Drew Lock ends up getting a rushing touchdown late that makes it close. I mean, they scored 10 points in the fourth quarter. That makes this, I mean, it was 27-20 going to the fourth quarter. They scored 10 points to make it pretty. But they definitely, I mean, he scored that touchdown with like 2:23 left. So they definitely could have got the ball maybe back one more time and tried to do something with it. This was probably just a situation of too little, too late, man. The Giants took a little too late to get going. But with Drew Lock starting, they're a completely different team than I think with Danny DeVito. I mean, he only threw for 178 yards, but just in general in the pass game, pass game felt so much more efficient. And shout out to Cowboys. They actually played really, really well. Shout out to Rico Dowdle, 22 for 112 and 1. He was a stud for them. And then Malik Neighbors, for your boy in fantasy, shout out. Had an all right game. 8 for 69 for the Giants. But man, Giants got a long way to go. Dayball's probably out. Maybe not now since they got rid of January. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with this Giants team. Good news for us, though. We gave out their under, and in our Super Parlay Play of the Year, we gave out 4 of my favorite over-unders, and now 2 of them hit. Steelers hit their over, Broncos hit their over, Seahawks are officially 1 game away from hitting their over, and the Giants need to win out to hit their over. So the nice part is, hit their over. We bet the under in that one, so the nice part is, next game they lose, that cashes. So it's pretty awesome. We just basically need a Seahawks win, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So, but that's awesome, mainly for a Giants. Yeah, sorry, I got a text about Rowan doing some, I don't know if y'all noticed, by the way. It's been hard. I've been hiding it a little bit with the injuries and everything, but we got, hopefully gonna have some merch on the way soon. We're trial running some stuff. Got some stuff working now. I mean, obviously, as you can see, it ain't too bad. I won't lie. Very, very excited for that to be up and coming. By the way, that's our boy Clayton dropped these off. So shout out that boy Clayton from FedEx. I don't know him personally, just the FedEx driver who dropped off our stuff. And this is what I was talking about last week. I was excited for. Got some more stuff coming on the way. Can't wait. But like I said, Giants, they lose 20-27. Not too much to get into this game. I mean, it's 2 teams that aren't really going to be doing too much this year. I guess the Cowboys are kind of alive, but not really. Dolphins, 17. Packers, 30. Dolphins can't play in the cold, can they? No, I mean, Tua had 365 passing yards. Not a horrible game by him by any means. Devon Achane, rushing-wise, was horrible, but in the receiving game, he kind of made up for it. He only had 14 rushing yards, but in the receiving game, he had 56. Jonnu Smith finished with 10 for 113. As for the Packers, their top receiver is Craycraft with 6 for 78. This was just a good old-fashioned football game. I mean, Jordan Love passed to Jaden Reed for 3-yard touchdown. Josh Jacobs then gets a rushing touchdown field goal by the Dolphins, and then another touchdown. I mean, you're looking at 24-3 going into half. That shit over, boy. Then you basically get 2 field goals for the rest of the game for them. Tyreek Hill. This lost me in my buddies league for fantasy. This actually lost me the season because I needed to win every single game to make the playoffs. I'm going to end up finishing like a game or 2 out. Don't have the points for it. I think I'm only going to finish I think I might even be tied with 4th place, but I won't have enough points for it, which really, really sucks. But Jonnu Smith basically goes to catch a pass, hits him over the shoulder, ricochets up. Tyreek Hill catches it for a touchdown, which is his first touchdown in God knows how long. I guess it's been... Alright, so we got 2 this month, but man, he went... Before he got one November 11th and November 17th, I mean, we're talking September 8th the last time he had a touchdown, so it's been a very, very weird season for Tyreek Hill. Hopefully he can just get back on... get back on track, man, and just hopefully it's not something that's super, super serious. Makes me more think of, yeah, that wrist might truly be injured, but tough loss for the Dolphins. I think most of us didn't. I don't think most of us are shocked. Honestly, it's just crazy though. They're 5-7, but second in the AFC East. Packers 9-3, third in the NFC North. I mean, the NFC North is crazy this year, man. We got an awesome game Thursday night, Packers-Lions. I think the Packers are liable to steal that. They just got to show up for the game. Friday, Black Friday. Chiefs, 19. Raiders, 17. Patrick Mahomes records his 238th career passing touchdown, becoming the Chiefs' all-time leader in passing touchdowns. Shout out to Patrick Mahomes. I mean, we're talking about dude who's going to get first ballot Hall of Famer. Jersey's probably getting retired. Nobody's going to ever wear 15 again. very shortly after he's done with his time in Kansas City. But hey, Aiden O'Connell with a sneaky 23 of 35 for 340 yards. It did not feel like he passed for that many yards. Brock Bowers, I mean, when he has 10 for 140, yeah, I think that's going to be pretty nice. He ends up finishing with the touchdown as well. This was another pretty good game overall. I mean, it's obviously the Chiefs didn't cover, which I'm pissed at myself. I even gave it out. I literally knew this was going to happen. Knew it was going to happen. And still even said, you know what? The Chiefs should win this game by 12.5. So I'm going to bet it because they should. And guess what? They didn't. It was pretty stupid. Regret even giving it out, man. I hope nobody else followed me with this. I was just reading regret giving it out. I don't even think I bet it. I think it was one of the things where I gave it out. I said I'm going to bet it, and guess what? I don't even think I think I did actually. I take that back. But this was just not a bad game by the Chiefs. I mean, you got nothing out of the run game from Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. They kind of just ate each other alive, so nobody really got a ton of work. DeAndre Hopkins had 4 for 90. He had a really, really good game himself. Travis Kelce, 7 for 68. Justin Watson's the one who gets the touchdown this week. I think that was their only touchdown, wasn't it? Yeah, this was just a weird game, dude. It was a fun game, but just weird. Because, yeah, they only get one touch. You get, I guess, Trey Tucker scored a touchdown as well. But it truly felt like the Raiders might win it. That's how I was trying to remember. Like, this game ended, like, because they got the last field goal with 9:57 to go. The Chiefs had to punt the ball away. I mean, man, the Chiefs are just going to keep winning the games this way, huh? They basically have a ball. The Raiders do. They're driving down the field. I mean, they're basically going to be in field goal range. And it's one of those weird things happens where there's a false start. It looks like the ref's running on the field as this is happening. All this is happening at once, by the way, what I'm describing. So it looks like there's a false start. They're getting ready to throw the flag and do the whole, hey, plays off. So as the ref is basically throwing the flag and starting to do the motion, the ball gets snapped because I guess if you watch it, the guard taps the... For those of you who don't know from football, tap the center's leg as a guard. That's usually an indication, hey, quarterback's ready to snap it. Then you'll see center's occasionally do the snap, or he'll tap his leg and then boom, boom, snap, stuff like that. So, guard taps the center's leg, center, snap, Aiden O'Connell. Not looking at the ball. He's looking this way, hits him in the chest, lands on the ground. Chiefs fall on the ball, Chiefs win. Raiders were in field goal range, should have beat them again, and guess what? The Chiefs just find a way to win it again, and man, it is crazy the Chiefs do this every single time. They just find ways to win. So now the Chiefs improved to 11-1. Raiders dropped to 2-10, and it just feels like, man, how are the Chiefs doing this every single time? That was one of those ones. Unbelievable. I would say it's starting to get to that point, man. They're just going to keep winning games this way, huh? I think they already set a record for like most one-score games that they've won. It's just one of those weird seasons for them. And I hate to say it because I want to pick against them every single week, but until they lose, I mean, it's just impossible to pick against them, it feels like. So, I mean, like I said, big win for the Chiefs. Shout out to them. As for the Raiders, just, man, another heartbreaking loss in a game that they probably should have won. And for those of you jumping around, I just want to apologize again. Going to be a few cuts here and there where you just see gaps where I'm bouncing in between stuff. I ain't going to lie to you, man. This is, like, literally, sitting in this chair is, honestly, sitting in this chair is what made me discover that I did have the hernia. So I'll admit, sitting in this chair just doesn't work out too well. So we're battling through it. So if there's times where I'm kind of losing my train of thought, you can probably guess why. Your boy's trying to not think about this jabbing pain in my groin. Moving on, though. There's a lot of good games to talk about. I'm trying to think of ones we can blow through. We'll just get to when we go to them. We'll just go down the list. First game, Colts 25, Patriots 24. Colts defense, I don't think forced a single punt all day. That was the most frustrating part. Offensively, I'm not mad with how the Colts played at all. I thought they played a pretty good game offensively. Anthony Richardson was 12 for 24 for 109, but if you watch the games, I mean, you can hear people, I mean, I'll admit it. This is something, shout out to fantasy footballers. I do truly love them. I love listening to them, but every week they talk about completion percentage, and they're like, oh, Anthony Richardson, only 50%, only 30%. And it's just, I know they aren't the only ones, but I just heard one of their episodes today, so that's what made me think of them on top of my head. But man, people truly aren't. If you aren't watching Colts games, you truly don't get how frustrating this can be sometimes. I mean, Granson dropped the ball that should have put the Colts at the 1. A.D. Mitchell dropped the ball that should have put the Colts inside the 10. And I mean, that's only 2, so that puts him at 14 for 24. And it's just stuff like that, man. It's just a slight bit frustrating because, like, I'll admit, I'm not saying he's a perfect passer, by the way. I understand he misses throws, but it's just like, man, if he's not missing the throw, it's a drop sometimes. It's just frustrating because that's been the biggest issue with the Colts offense. Your boy gave out to his friends. I didn't give out to the people. I might start doing some of these more. I just had a gut feeling. Like, you know what? There's some 100 yards people I like today. I thought Mike Evans hit over 100 receiving yards. He did. Thought Nico Collins was going to hit over 100 receiving yards. He did. And then Jonathan Taylor, I'm like, he going to rush for 100. I like that. Put all three of those together. It was like 17 to win, 489. Jonathan Taylor, 25 carries, 96 yards. Damn. Would have loved that one to hit. That would have been amazing. But, man, shout out to Colts for real. Anthony Richardson, 2 passing touchdowns. Drake May looked really, really, really good. This game was just back and forth, like I said, most of the time. Comes down to fourth quarter, 17 seconds left. Colts basically drive the ball. So the Colts get a whole 2-minute. Anthony Richardson's first game-winning 2-minute drive of his career. He gets that. They're driving down the field. It then becomes, to get into the red zone, 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. Passing touchdown to Alec Pierce. He hits him. Very, very nice throw. Love it. And then they go for 2 points. They just do a QB power. Anthony Richardson bowls some people over. There might have been a holding. I don't know, though. I mean, that back ankle is woo! But we love it, though. Anthony Richardson punches in, gets the 2-point conversion, and then it leads to Drake May getting the ball. They basically get a 68-yard field goal to win it. And from my understanding, if that's 66 yards, that's good. Which is crazy to think about that Joey Sly in 20-degree weather almost hit a 66-yard field goal. But he ends up missing. Colts win. Huge win for the Colts, who now improved to 6-7, and they're just sitting outside. They're the first team sitting outside the wild card picture. It's just like last year all over again. No, it's honestly awesome. Very, very excited about that. For the Patriots, their biggest thing that they're going to be kicking themselves about is just penalties, man. The amount of time, legal man downfield, holding, offense number 77. I mean, it's just, I was going to think of more, but I mean, they just got called for so many penalties. It's unbelievable. I wonder if that's a thing they... Here we go, yeah. 7 penalties for the Patriots for 88 yards. Colts had 2 for 15. And I think that was the biggest reason the Patriots lost the game is because anytime they had themselves in a good situation, it's just penalties. And that's the biggest issue. Is they got to figure out this penalty bullshit. Because, I mean, it's every single game. They're having multiple bad penalties. I mean, these are like high school level penalties. Just jumping off sides, false starting, not being lined up correctly, too many men downfield. I mean, they gotta get this stuff fixed, but they're basically playing for next year, obviously. They're just trying to see what they got in Drake May, probably see what they got in other few pieces. But yeah, the Patriots, that's a tough one to lose, unless you're cheering for the draft pick, in which case you are very, very excited they chose to kick a 68-yard field goal. Moving on, though, but we'll talk about the Sunday night game because this was a blowout. Bills 35, 49ers 10. Josh Allen records his 245th career all-purpose touchdown, surpassing Jim Kelly, become the Bills' all-time leader in all-purpose touchdowns. Shout out to Josh Allen, man, another guy who won't be shocked if the Bills end up retiring his jersey, but he still needs to win a Super Bowl to earn that full right. He's been a really good quarterback for them, but they've had some pretty good quarterbacks that haven't won Super Bowls. But regardless, this is the team to beat in the AFC. Behind the Chiefs for me, because obviously, I mean, they did beat the Chiefs, but I'm talking playoffs. We'll see them in playoffs. If they beat the Chiefs in playoffs, then for me, it's like, all right, the Bills are the new team to beat, but I mean, dude, I'm not going to take anything away from them. They look good. Ray Davis scores a touchdown for them. James Cook, I think, gets 2 of them things. No, he only gets 1 of them things. Josh Allen gets 2 of them things. Matt Hollins gets a touchdown as well. Isaac Guerrero, if you're in fantasy, I would recommend going to search this boy because Jordan Mason, IR, his season's likely over because he's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Christian McCaffrey, PCL injury, he is for sure done for the season. You saw it. It was just heartbreaking, man. Heartbreaking, he runs. I mean, he just sucks. You watch him run, he's running sideways, basically taking out a stretch play. Immediately just slides down and just hobbles off, and he basically had his knees clicked. His knees clicked on a few plays prior on the play where he literally was one guy away from breaking it. Instead, gets his leg swiped, knees hit together. Now he has a PCL injury, and he's probably done for the... Oh, he is done for the year. They announced he's out for the season officially, and yeah, that's a very, very tough loss for them. And a season that is officially... Remember when we said the Vikings were the team that just couldn't get any... what's the word? I can't think of the word now. The cursed season, we'll just say that. But basically the team who just, with all the Vikings, with all the injuries and everything, they suffered. But turns out we were, that was a smokescreen for them to really take out the 49ers. Because, yeah, that's been a rough stretch for them. Bucks, 26, Panthers, 23. Probably the, oh, by the way, perfect timing, actually. Christy Coleman, the Panthers president, is being named as the CEO of Tepper Sports and Entertainment effective immediately. She will continue to report to David Tepper. Coleman will be over the Panthers, MLS, Charlotte FC, and the Bank of America Stadium. So basically new leadership who still reports to David Tepper, so I'm not fully sure how that works too deeply, but interesting. They got some change in very weird though how it comes after Bryce Young plays probably his best game of his career. This was the game where I'm now like, all right, Bryce Young is an NFL quarterback. A starting one? Hey, bench one? Future MVP of the league? I don't know about that one, but I do think he has a chance to be a good quarterback. He played. This is probably his best game, second, third best game of his career, but overall, just one of the better games he played. They were basically a Chuba Hubbard overtime fumble away from winning this game. Like I said, this game was 26-23 in overtime. The Panthers have the ball in field goal range. Like, literally, it's all right, handoff, take the knee in position where we want the kicker to kick the field goal, we win. So they're on the first handoff, and Chuba Hubbard ends up fumbling. Huge loss for them. Bryce Young, though, like I said, 26 for 46, 298, one touchdown. He even had a rushing touchdown added onto that with 3 rushes for 17 yards. Is that a 38-yard pass long, or is that I'm assuming so. I don't think he rushed for that. But, man, shout out Bryce Young for real. He had a really, really good game overall, I thought. It just sucked because his team just couldn't be. Adam Thielen, nasty-ass catches. He for sure scored a touchdown, by the way. I don't know how in the hell that ref who's sitting right there and the league don't overturn that into a touchdown. Hey, but as a guy who bet the Bucks, thank you. That also helped us win the weekend Pickem. Can't wait to talk about that tomorrow. Your boy. Hey, remember what we talked about a few weeks ago? We're right there. We just need to get some things rolling. It might be rolling. But like I said, we're moving on to, I guess, we're not moving on. Sorry, I forgot we're still talking about this game a little bit. Mike Evans finishes 8 for 12, 118 yards and a touchdown. Remember, we're taking his over probably the rest of the season because he's trying to hit that receiving thing. And they already came out and Baker said that, like, yeah, that's something we really, really want to do for Mike Evans. We want to get that done for him. Bucky Irving, have a day. Bucky Irving, 25 carries, 152 yards and a touchdown. He had by far his best game as a pro. Almost beat me in fantasy. I thought when he scored that last touchdown, I thought that would have done me in. But shout out David Njoku on Monday night, baby. When we get to that game, we'll talk about that. But yeah, I mean, overall, sorry, we've talked about my hernia a lot today, so I'll throw it in. I won't lie. I just sat and put myself in a position where it's like, oh, it was like a relieving feeling good, where it's like you could feel. You ever have one of those where it's like you feel. Maybe the best is like stretching or your pulled muscle, tight muscle, and you stretch. You can literally feel it just like, oh, that feels nice. That's basically what just happened here. Where it's like it felt tight jab. All of a sudden, I felt that hand not jabbing too hard. But speaking of jabbing too hard, I mean, Mike Evans, 8 for 118. Bucky Irving, 25 carries for 152 yards. Jonathan Brooks, 6 for 18, man. So glad to see my man Jonathan Brooks out there. Excited for them to get him rolling. He definitely got a few more carries this week, but from 2 to 6. So I'm very curious to see how that will go because, I mean, he didn't look too horrible in his carries. Averaged 3 in attempt. 3 receiving yards for 23 yards. I mean, he got a lot more involvement, and I look for that to hopefully continue as the season goes on. And then maybe, just maybe, we'll have a 1-2 punch with him and Chuba Hubbard. Titans 19, Commanders 42. I mean, Commanders literally won this game in the first quarter, damn near. They're up 21-0 in the first quarter. And then the game, it just sucks if they started the game after that. I mean, we got 7-7 in the second quarter, 6-0 third quarter, 14. I mean, it's literally like a 2-point game if you take away those 21 points in the first quarter. Brian Robinson, touchdown from 40 yards out. Jaden Daniels had a touchdown. Terry McLaurin, 2 of them things back-to-back. And then Nick Westbrook-Akine scores for the Titans. The biggest issue was they fumbled on the kickoff. That kind of screwed them. It was just a bad game overall for the Titans. I mean, it was literally like out the gate. It's just like, oh, man, they stand no chance today, huh? It was just one of those situations, truly. I mean, that's basically what I need to bring up in this game. The Commanders got a much-needed win that they had to have back. And, yeah, for the Titans, just sucks. I mean, that game got away from them very quick. Something I was shocked about. I didn't realize that. I totally forgot about Austin Eckler's history of concussions and that whole issue. They already put him on IR, so he's going to be gone for And this is a playoff team. I would not be shocked if we don't see him again until playoffs. So another one of those fantasy things. You got Brian Robinson. He might need to be a go. And if you don't got Brian Robinson, you're looking for a backup. Jeremy McNichols. He didn't get as much work, obviously. He got 6 carries. Chris Rodriguez got 13 because the game was such a big blowout. But Jeremy McNichols might not be a bad name to add. But, I mean, that was just an ass kicking by the Commanders. So shout out to them, man. They, like I said, they just kicked the ass. We got them in and out early. Chargers 17, Falcons 13. Biggest issue with this game is Kirk Cousins just looked horrible. 4 interceptions and probably 2 of them were really, really bad. There was one on the sideline that was a pick 6 that literally, I mean, oh my God. You would have thought that I threw it from my house in Indiana to the Mercedes-Benz, or I guess it's not Mercedes-Benz, to the Atlanta Falcons. I forget what the name of their stadium is, but you would have literally thought I threw this ball like across 14 state lines. That's how slow it was getting out there. I mean, this thing was hanging out there I mean, the Chargers win scoring no touchdowns offensively. Field goal. Pick 6. Damn, that was that late in the game. I forgot how late in the game that was. Holy shit. That was very, very late in the game. But yeah, overall, it was a very, very good win by the Chargers, who much, I guess it's not much needed to win, but with how good the Chiefs have been, every win doesn't hurt. Because they're basically guaranteed, especially with how good the Bills have been, they're basically guaranteed not guaranteed, but better you can play yourself, the better it'll be for the wild card, I guess is the best way to put it. Because with how dominant the Chiefs and Bills have been, I mean, sucks for the Chargers. They're 8-4, and they basically stand no chance of getting that division because I don't see the Chiefs dropping enough games to get that for them. And then you look at the Falcons, man, those Kirk Cousins interceptions were just horrible. I mean, oh my God, man. I don't know what he was doing. Then the other one, he just literally threw it. I mean, he threw it into quadruple coverage. It was literally like a fuck it Madden ball damn near, where he's just running up in the pocket and just, it's either out the back of the end zone or my guy's catching it. And instead, he threw it in the quadruple coverage where the other team caught it, which you hate to truly see. But, yeah, overall, it's just a tough loss for the. And then the last pick the only one I don't blame him for is that last pick of the game where he's basically forced to throw it, and he did throw the pick. But overall, I mean, it was just bad game by the Falcons, man. They've had some real stinkers lately. They're on a 3-game losing streak. 2 losses, then a bye, and then coming off a loss. Now they got the Vikings before they play the Raiders, Giants, Commanders, Panthers. So it gets a little bit lighter towards the end, but man, is the damage done? Are the Bucs going to catch them? We're going to have to keep an eye on that. The fact they beat the Bucs twice is just crazy. Just one of those weird years in the NFL. Texans 23, Jaguars 20. What the fuck is going on with the Texans, man? They've been not right. What the fuck is going on with CJ Stroud, too? He hasn't been right either. No, 1 passing touchdown. 22 for 34, 242. Almost game manager-ish is what CJ Stroud's damn near kind of become. Joe Mixon, 20 carries for 101 yards. But let's be honest, the biggest issue, shout out Mac Jones, by the way, for coming back in and having a chance to win this game. Because, man, that hit to Trevor Lawrence, Al-Shaair, suspended 3 games. Doubt that sticks. I think it's going to be dropped down to 2, because if you heard what the Texans GM came out and had to say, he had some very, very strong words about I'm trying not to be. He had some very strong words to say about Runyon and the NFL office, who came out and basically talked about the situation. I'm not going to read it word for word, but I didn't think it was. I didn't understand, I guess, what John Runyon wrote the first time. And then, I'll admit, shout out to Pat McAfee Show, heard them talk about the situation a little bit, and they reread what he had to say. I'm like, oh, holy fuck, that is kind of bad. He basically, the way he worded it, it's just like, bad look for the league. You don't, basically, like, if I was somebody who didn't understand the situation, the way the NFL wrote it, and the way I would have read it, is like, oh, so this guy, horrible guy, he plays dirty a lot. They've tried to get him on this multiple times now, and now he's suspended for good reason. That's immediately what I would think, but if you look into the situation, it was really interesting worded how it's like, you don't care about the safety of your players and everything. And all this comes from the nasty hit that Al-Shaair had on, he blasted Lawrence. I'll be honest, I didn't think it was, it's a bad hit, but I think the part that bothered me about it was the elbow brace to the helmet. That's the part where it's like, all right, buddy, you can't be going that far, because I thought what Darius Butler said on that show said it best. You want a guy that, as a football player, you want a guy living that edge, because not everyone's going to live that edge, because most players, like, I'll admit, I was not one of those players who lived on the like. There'd be some times where it's like I know I could get away with a few things, so it's like I'm gonna do this here, I'm gonna do this here. But I was not like that every single play. I'll admit, and that's something I'll admit. Going back, I wish I could have the will to be like play that intensely every single play, because I mean you love guys like this. There's a reason he's a captain for D'Amico Ryan's team. I mean, this guy, I mean he is the thumper too. I mean he's gonna let you know about it. He already came out with an apology and everything, but yeah, my biggest issue was just the fact that, because Trevor Lawrence did have a late slide. I'll admit, it was a little bit of a late slide, but at the same time, you want the guy to dive over him. Biggest issue, though, man, like I said, was that elbow, man. It's the fact, because I have no issue, like, it's the fact that he did this, and, like, doing that into the ground. I mean, Trevor Lawrence hit the fencing position. It's tough look, though, but, I mean, the Texans ended up winning the game. He's suspended for 3 games, like I said. It's probably going to drop down to 2 if I had to guess. But the biggest question is, for this game, is Trevor Lawrence going to play again this season? I don't know. I truly don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if they sit him at this point, because he's already dealing with injury, finally coming back. Now he's concussed. Probably going to miss at least like 2 games. Their season's already over to begin with. I don't know. Just a tough situation. And then the Texans are a team we got to keep an eye on, man, because they are not playing the best of football lately. I mean, the Jags could have probably got them potentially. And now they go into a bye and they play the Dolphins, Chiefs, Ravens, Titans. The AFC South is going to be something. Keep an eye on those Colts and Texans, man. The AFC South, it's going to get a little spicy. Next game to talk about, Cardinals 22, Vikings 23. Cardinals basically blow this late. A lot of points. I mean, Vikings get 2 touchdowns and a field goal late with 1:24 in the third going into the fourth. That basically sends them over the edge. Man, tough. I mean, this is just a bad loss for the Cardinals, in my opinion. The Cardinals had every reason not to lose this game, and they lost it. Awesome comeback by the Vikings, who, yet again, another week of they've been really, really slow as of late. I don't know if it's just like those mid-season blues. I mean, last game against the Titans, they looked better at least, but they didn't look. I mean, it's been since the Jaguars, the Colts game, even damn near. They played the Colts really, really good Sunday night, and then past that, they played the Jaguars. Not the best game. Titans played okay, but not the best. Is that an AFC South effect? No, I'm just kidding. Bears, they played really, really close there. And then the Cardinals, this was another weird one where they came out, started off really, really slow, able to come on late and win this game. Because like I said, the Arizona Cardinals, they at least kept it close, but I don't know, man. They're a frustrating team to fully understand. I just don't get them. Shout out to Marvin Harrison, having a bit of a good game for him. Justin Jefferson, 7 for 99. Having a bounce-back game after a bad game last time out. I just think it's a bad loss for the Cardinals. Good win for the Vikings. Both these teams need the win, too. So that was a massive loss for the Cardinals. Now dropped to second in the NFC West behind the Seahawks. After the Seahawks win a game. So that's one you really can't lose there, for being honest. Bengals, 38. Steelers, 44. Bengals, another loss. I think the NFL, if they score over 33 points, I think it's like 17-1, 44-1. I don't know what the stat is. It's something in 1, though. I think it's like 20-1, something like that. If you score over 33 points, you're 20-1. If you're the Bengals, you're 2-4. So the whole rest of the NFL is like 20-1. The Bengals, 2-4 in games that score 33 points. They can't stop a nosebleed defensively. I mean, shit, the Steelers scored 4. I was shocked the Steelers put up as many points as they did. I think this was the first. I think this might have been the real eye-opener for me, is the fact that Russell Wilson had 414 passing yards and the Steelers put up 44 points. Okay, the Bengals defense is really, really bad now, huh? That's kind of, I guess, where I'm getting at. It just sucks for the Bengals because this was a big win for us because it hit our Steelers over. Obviously, shout out. But, man, the Bengals just have not got anything right. It makes you think at this point, as Zach Taylor lost the locker room, are we going to see changes? This is the only thing that makes me feel like we might not see changes is the Bengals, who are very, very reluctant. Ownership-wise, do make changes, but you got to think they got to make changes soon. I mean, a 44-38 loss to the Steelers, that's tough, man. That's a tough loss. And I mean, it's not the fact they lost to the Steelers. They lost to the Steelers, right, whatever. You let the Steelers score 44 points. I mean, they 24-19, 18-16, 28-27, 26-18. Okay, they scored 37 against the Jets, so we'll hold that. 32 against. I mean, any team that's had a pulse, they've not scored more than like 20-ish points on, especially with Russ starting. But, man, tough loss for the Bengals, who have just had a season from hell themselves. I mean, they're just not even from injuries. Just nothing has gone right for them. So we're for sure probably going to see changes there. As for the Steelers, great win by them. Seahawks, 26. Jets 21. Jets go up 21-0. Basically, 21-7 right away. Excuse me. They look great. I mean, it's 21-7. Jets are starting to drive back in, and this is where you're like, oh shit, the Jets are really gonna win this, huh? I was sitting there already mad. Like, I knew the Seahawks were gonna do this dumb shit. Of course. I mean, I'm glad I put a lot of points on them and pick them. Just talking to myself, just shaking my head, and then Aaron Rodgers throws a 90-something yard pick six to Leonard Williams. 92 yards is the biggest. I think it's the longest interception by a big man in NFL history. I mean, that basically flipped the game because after that, this was in the second quarter. After that happened, they get a field goal late, but then there's no scoring again until the fourth quarter where Zach Charbonnet gets a touchdown super late. But Jets basically, the worst part was that Jets had Garrett Wilson wide open. Aaron Rodgers needs to hit him. Aaron Rodgers missed him by like an inch or two, maybe a foot or two. I guess would probably be a better one. Foot or two. Just missed him out of Garrett Wilson's reach. Then very next play is when he throws a pick six. So that was just that's tough for the Jets, who now fall to 3-9. Seahawks improved to 7-5, and now they're first in their division. And man, that division might come down to the final week. 49ers looking like they might be out of it late because of the injuries, but I mean they're still right in it. The only issue for the 49ers, they have not won a single game against a division opponent, so that could become a big issue for them. But like I said, shout out to the Seahawks to get a massive win there. And speaking of another NFC West team, the Rams 21-14. They basically score 3 touchdowns late. Third quarter is when Kyron scores his first touchdown. So they basically go and get shut out at half. I think first time ever it's happened in the Sean McVay era. They're down 6-0 at half. Game ends up finishing 21-14. Good win for the Rams. I mean, there's just not too much to get into this game. This was just a good old-fashioned football game. One thing I do want to bring up, though. Man, I'm just looking at the photo right now. Shout out Taysom Hill, man. He may come back and play for the Saints again, but we will not be seeing Taysom Hill like we once knew him. ACL injury, I believe there's some other knee damage as well. He's going to be getting surgery. And as a guy who is older already, I mean, he's 34, turning 35. I mean, that's going to be a massive surgery to come back from. And then he's not coming back at quarterback. He's coming back at tight end, running back, all that. It's just tough, man. I mean, the second you saw Taysom Hill took the hit, too. I mean, he turned the corner, gets smacked. It's like, oh, my God. I mean, it's one of those ones like instantly you're just like, oh, shit. I text Rowan right away. He got hit. I immediately text Rowan. I was like, dude, Taysom's done, isn't he? You just knew, like, oh, yeah, he sucks to see it, man. Shout out to Taysom. Hopefully, he has had an awesome, awesome career. So hopefully he can at least come back and play a little bit for them and get a nice retirement. But, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to wish it. I don't want to be the bulletin board material. I really hope he does get a chance to come back and play. But, man, just sucks, especially at that age, the hit he took, too. It's this late into the season as well. Man, shout out to Taysom Hill, man. That really, really sucked. So now we go into Sunday Night Football, 24-19. Eagles beat. Oh, sorry, this was not. I forgot, this was 425. We already talked about the Sunday night game. Sunday night was the Bills-49ers blowout. The 425 game of the day, 24-19. Eagles win over the Ravens. Ravens have now dropped 1 in a row. They've lost 2 of their last 3, though. Lost to the Steelers and the Eagles, but man. Shout out that boy Saquon. Saquon had a really, really good game rushing. Again, I wanted to look at the records for that. We'll look at that in a minute. Jalen Hurts, 11 for 19 for 118 passing yards. I mean, this was just a good football game. There's like an hour, and there's like an hour of actual real time and game time. I forget how long it was, but basically nothing happened. Where like the Eagles weren't really doing anything. The Ravens would start to threaten, and they weren't doing anything. My biggest takeaway from this game, Justin Tucker. 2 misses again. That's just going to be something, I guess, that's going to be the storyline of the season. Just sucks, man. Hopefully he can get his shit figured out, because that sucks. He's one of the best kickers of all time, and for him to be struggling like this, it's just missing a lot of the same way, too. It makes you wonder, is it injuries or something going on? What's going on with that? You just hate to see it. Saquon Barkley, shout out to him having a massive game running. Another point I want to bring up, though, Baltimore Ravens. Look for Lamar Jackson next game after their bye. Who do they play? Because they're going into bye this week. They play the Giants. Look for Lamar to pretty much, I think in that game where they play the Steelers next, look for Lamar to run a little bit loose. He came out and said his mom came out and said there was opportunities where he should have really ran it, and then he even came out in the media afterwards like, yeah, probably should have ran in a few more spots here and there. So look for, after the bye, Giants, Steelers, Texans, Browns in the season. look for Lamar to potentially use a little bit more of his legs over the next few games. Also, another big thing I wanted to bring up. This was the one. Ravens Harbaugh is unable to clarify Deontay Johnson's status with team. At this time, I'm going to have to wait to just clarify it, Harbaugh said. There's some moving parts that we're going to have to figure out and explore, just see where we're at. I know that there's not the answer you want. I know that's not the answer you want, but that's the best I can do. Fairness to everybody right now. Obviously, this guy's a locker room issue. I hate to say it for the guy because I don't know him. I don't want to just throw shit out there, but Steelers had a chance to sign him, got rid of him. Carolina Panthers got him from a trade, very willing to trade him again right away. Ravens traded him because they needed a wide receiver. And they traded him because they needed another weapon in the field, and he's not playing. So I really don't know what is going on. Is it something where he complained about playing time and he's in the doghouse? Is it a medical issue? Is it a legal issue? I don't know. There's just something that just doesn't... I don't know. I don't know. It's just a really weird situation. We're going to have to keep an eye on it because there's just something... There's something going on there for sure. And last game to talk about, Denver 41. This game became an awesome game. Broncos 32. We got the full Jameis experience last night, man. And that was, woo! Shit was awesome, man. We're talking 6 touchdowns. 2 to the other team. I mean, this boy was slinging that pill. Threw it 56 times, I believe was the number. 58 times, excuse me. I think in the 4 to 5 games that Jameis has been starting, he's throwing the ball like over 200 plus times. That boy's slinging that pill around. But this was like the full Jameis Winston game. Shout out to my boy Rowan, man, who, I'm pretty sure he got his playoff hopes eliminated in fantasy. All because of the Denver defense. They beat him by 0.6. I just want to I do want to tell you the score. This was shocking. Because I went to bed thinking my buddy Jaron, who's fighting for playoff spot, I'm like, oh, he's out. No way. And then you look at the week 13, and it's like, wait, Jaron's in the playoff? What the fuck? Go back to the week 13 scores. 130.16 to 129.14. Rowan literally lost by 1.02. Wow. That's a fantasy heartbreaker. But like I said, we got the full Jameis Winston experience. He threw for 497 yards along with that. 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. This was just a fun back-and-forth shooting affair. I'm just going to read you some of these scores when they happen. So, Cleveland drives down the field, not able to do much with it. I think they even missed a field goal. So they drive down, missed the field goal. Broncos get the ball, score a touchdown with Javonte Williams. Then with 4:16, minute 12 left in the quarter, Cleveland answers back with a David Njoku touchdown. 8:52 in the second quarter, they get a field goal, them being the Browns. After this, Michael Burton gets a rushing touchdown for the Broncos. And then after this, the first one of 2, pick 6 by Jameis. Throws a touchdown pass to the wrong team. What's his name? Nick Bonito. Shout out to him. I about messed that up. Nick Bonito scores a touchdown. Then after that, Jameis is like, actually, let me throw it to my team. 17 seconds left in the half. He throws a touchdown to David Njoku. And this is where it gets fun, man. Bo Nix, 93-yard. There's 10-12 on the clock. Bo Nix, 93-yard touchdown to Marvin Mims. 10:01 on the clock. Jerry Jeudy, 70-yard touchdown pass from Jameis Winston. So we got Bo Nix, laser, touchdown, and then Jerry Jeudy answers that right back. You get a field goal from Will Lutz. Late in the game, you get a touchdown from, Nick Chubb. I lost my spot there. But yeah, you get a touchdown from Nick Chubb. And then you get Denver field goal, puts them up by 2, and that pick 6 by Jameis with 1:59 left in the fourth would be the sealer. This was a fun game, dude. Super fun game. And shout out to the Broncos, who now officially are 8-5. They control their destiny as of right now for the wild card. They're a playoff team, man. Wow. Shout out Sean Payton, man, even with everything they got going on. But let's talk about some news real quick, see if there's anything I missed. Kickers had a really bad week last week in general. Shout out to Jameis Winston, man. Praying for the all-time quote from Jameis Winston. I know I'm better than this. I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me. I can't even say it without laughing. I know I'm better than this. I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes. Like, that's not me. Shout out Jameis, man. Jameis is the best. I love Jameis Winston personally. He's great for the league, man. Absolutely great for the league. Got some Hall of Fame finalists. We don't need to talk about that. Don't need to talk about that. Shout out to Jerry Jeudy, who also broke the record for most receiving yards in a revenge game. He had 235 receiving yards, which is the most by a player returning to play against their former team. So shout out to Jerry Jeudy getting that. I mean, he had a night. Just sucks for them they weren't able to get the win. Stafford expected to play through a lateral ankle sprain. That's just an issue because we already know how injured. We already know the issues that Stafford has with injuries. So hopefully this isn't starting a snowball effect for him because man, that sucks. McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, IR. We talked about that. The Bears are retaining Poles. GM will lead the head coaching search. Let's be honest, they need to hire Vrabel. Vrabel would be a great choice for them. But yeah, I think we saying season-ending ACL for that. We already talked about Taysom Hill was a season-ending ACL. Yeah, I think we hit most of the spots. Quickly now, we're going to look at the playoff picture. I just want to talk about that before we move into some college scores and react to the news that was there. Man, this groin, dude. It hurt. So, quickly looking at the playoff picture before we move on to college football. Your buys. In both leagues, you got the Lions, number 1 seed in the NFC. Chiefs are number 1 seed in the AFC. They both get the buys. So, bouncing to the AFC, you got a matchup right now. So, right now the matchup is Buffalo Bills. At the playoffs ended today. Buffalo Bills versus Denver Broncos. That's 2-7. Steelers versus Ravens. Oh, that's a good 3-6. And you got the Texans versus the Chargers at 4-5. For the NFC, you got Eagles versus Commanders at 2-7. Seahawks, Packers at 3-6. And Falcons, Vikings at 4-5. That's an interesting one as well. Wild card wise for both spots, you're looking at the Chargers, Ravens, Broncos. Colts are now they're 2 games out of the wild card. Holy hell. They are 2 games behind, 6-7. Broncos are holding down at 8-5. Dolphins are 5-7 behind them, and then you got the Bengals at 4-8. That's a quick drop off for that league. AFC, and then the NFC wise. You got the 8-5 Commanders holding down the last spot. Then you got the 6-6 Bucks, 6-6 Cardinals, 6-6 Rams, 5-7 49ers, and believe it or not, the 5-7 Cowboys, all kind of hanging around, lingering. Cowboys, 49ers, I don't really think so. Rams, probably not even. But Rams at 6-6, Cardinals 6-6, Bucks 6-6, all fighting for a chance to get in. But like I said, that's gonna do it for that part. I just want to bring that up quickly. Gonna be fun, man. We're gonna be having a lot more NFL talk upcoming anyway because, wow, like I said, college football, conference championship week. I got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's like 9 to 10 games to talk about. Wow, that's crazy. Next week we only got 9 or 10 college games to talk about. But before we get to that point, week 14, the week that was in the rivalry week, Akron upsets Toledo. That was a big one for Toledo. I believe that was just shocking. Moving on though, Tulane upset by Memphis. That was another shocking one. Memphis upsets Tulane, knocks them out of the college football playoff. Any help they had. Miami of Ohio beats Ball State 42-21 to move to the MAC title game. Navy wins against East Carolina. Colorado 52-0 drumming of Oklahoma State. They gave themselves a chance to make the college football playoffs, but as we're going to talk about here in a minute, they just didn't make it because of that loss to Kansas. Miami of Ohio beats Bowling Green 28-12. They're in the MAC title game, playing off against Ohio. Minnesota beats Wisconsin 24-7. Boise State wins 34-18 to move on to their Mountain West championship game. Ole Miss beats Mississippi State. That one's not too shocking. South Alabama loses to Texas State. Sam Houston beats Liberty. Man, Liberty had they were like 8-0 at one point damn near and just lost 3 of the last 4. I mean, that was just crazy slide for them, what happened towards the end of their season. Stanford, San Jose, that was actually a really good game. 34-31 win for San Jose State. Iowa beats Nebraska 13-10. Kind of shocked by that. Game of the day, man. Georgia Tech, Georgia. Was that Friday? I can't remember, but Georgia 44, Georgia Tech 42. Goes to 8 overtimes. Insane game. I'll admit, I watched most of this towards the end. I was doing some stuff, I think. And then it just ended too late. I ended up falling asleep before it ended. What a game, dude. Georgia Tech. Watch out for them, man. They have been they were a very fun team. Their over win total was 4.5, and I think they hit that for us. No joke. Like, What? They 1, 2, 3. They hit that thing by October 12th. They hit that win total, and we were already damn near forgot about them because they've been so good. But man, the Georgia Tech boys really, really good this season. Very, very tough team. Utah beats UCF 28-14. Notre Dame wins 49-35 over USC. Excuse me. That clinches them a playoff bid. It's just are they going to be a 6, 7, or 8 seed is the question. Indiana drums Purdue 66-0. Purdue ends up getting their coach fired. Because of that, UConn 47-42 win. Michigan. We're going to talk about this game in a minute, but Michigan 13-10 win over Ohio State. We'll come back to that game. Baylor gets blown out by Kansas. Baylor blows out Kansas 45-17. Illinois beats Northwestern 38-28. I agree with Tom Fornelli, by the way. As much as I love Colorado, how in the hell is Illinois not ranked over them? That one's a bit shocking. West Virginia loses 52-15 with 400 yards of offense to Texas Tech. And Neil Brown fired for them. Duke beats Wake Forest 23-17. Amazing season for them. They finished with a 9-win season. Tennessee wins 36-23 over Vanderbilt. Louisville 41-14 win over Kentucky. Just absolutely beats the tar out of them. I missed that score. Wow. South Carolina, massive win for them. They win 17-14 over Clemson. Army wins 29-24 over UTSA. Arizona State wins 49-7 over Arizona. Miami, the U, loses to Syracuse after being up by 21. Wow. That was another shocker that's like, holy fuck. So the U's had a really good chance to miss the college football playoff now. If Clemson wins the ACC, there's a chance that Clemson, SMU are in, Miami's out. If Clemson loses, Miami still might be out, and they might put Alabama in. There's a real good chance Miami now, because of 2 losses late in the season, might miss the college football playoff, which is crazy to think of how dominant they were at the beginning of the season. Penn State wins 44-7 over Maryland. Auburn wins Iron Bowl 28-14. Missouri wins 28-21 over Arkansas. NC State beats North Carolina, Mac Brown's last home game. SMU blows out Cal 38-6. Rutgers destroys Michigan State 41-14. Jacksonville State, heartbreaking loss against Western Kentucky, but now Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State, they get a rematch this weekend. That's crazy, man. They literally played last weekend. Not going to rematch this weekend, except this time conference titles on the line. TCU beats Cincinnati. LSU beats Oklahoma. Florida State loses 31-11 to Florida. Texas beats Texas A&M 17-7. Oregon wins 49-21. Iowa State wins 29-21 over Kansas State. That win gets Iowa State into the Big 12 championship against... Fuck, who do they play? I think I already bet on them. I'm trying to remember without looking. Arizona State. Iowa State's going to be the matchup. UNLV beats Nevada to advance to their bowl game. BYU gets a big win. And, man, New Mexico, heartbreaking loss, has the bye week, loses to Hawaii, so now they are not bowl eligible, and their season is over. But, man, Ohio State, 20.5-point favorites, loses to Michigan at home. I don't see how Ryan Day keeps his job. I hate to say it. I mean, he has to win a national championship, and even if he wins a national championship, there's a chance where they might not keep him around. I mean, there's stuff that's bigger than faith, family, beating goddamn Michigan. I'm assuming that's how it goes around Ohio State, but no, in all seriousness, the fact that he's lost to Ohio State, the fact that Ohio State's lost to Michigan 4 years in a row now under Ryan Day, and he came out 4 years ago and said, we're going to hang 100 on these dudes, and now they scored 84 points in these 4 losses combined. I don't know. It just feels like I thought Todd McShay had a very good way to put it. This feels like a marriage where the parents just aren't going to work out. I mean, there's nothing wrong. Ryan Day, great football coach. I think he's an amazing football coach. Really good football coach. A winning football coach. But if you don't beat Michigan and you go to Ohio State, those fans are going to kill you, man. And if you watch his body language at the end of the game, I think that's a man who knows, like, no matter what I do, man, I think I'm done. Because... if he wins the national championship, they obviously might keep him around for another year or two. But, I mean, he just looked like zoned out of it damn near, where he's just kind of looking off into the distance like, man, how did we lose this? What happened? Just sucks, man. Bad loss for him, like I said, overall. Man. I truly hate to see it for Ohio State, because that was a massive loss that, like I said, I mean, they've lost for Michigan 4 years in a row now. There's going to be... They apparently get a pair of gold pants that they take on a that they can put on a necklace. So this is something that you get for beating Michigan. There is a whole class of Buckeyes. Not one pair of gold pants was given to them. Like Jack Sawyer, I believe, 4-year guy, never beat Michigan once. Never beat Michigan once. And that is somebody who was born in Ohio, bred in Ohio. Going to have to live with that for the rest of his life. So when shit like that's happening, it just makes you think that, yeah, they might not keep Ryan Day around just because they can't keep losing this game. They cannot keep losing this game. Because their whole season, they can win a national title, and I bet you some people are still going to be pissed because it's like, man, we lost to fucking Michigan again. And that's just college football, man. For some people, it doesn't matter more. But that's, I think, going to do it for today. We're going to actually preview the conference championship. That's the last thing I want to end on. Because, yeah, there's no need to talk college football playoffs because literally next week we're talking college football playoffs for probably a month straight. So we're going to hold off for a little bit longer. But in all honesty, your boy can't wait, man. I'm excited. I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's just very sad because it's been a long season, man. Been a great build. And now we're towards the end of the season. It's like, man, this shit truly over, huh? It is truly playoff time. And because of that, we got conference championships to talk about. Boise State, 3.5-point favorites over UNLV. Jacksonville State, these games are all on Friday, all at 8 p.m. Jacksonville State, 3.5-point favorites over Western Kentucky, the rematch of last weekend. Then you got Army, 5.5-point dogs to Tulane. You know what we're going to be in that game. That's all on Friday. And then Saturday at noon, you got Arizona State, 2.5-point favorites over Iowa State. I think I'm on the side of Arizona State as of right now. You'll know for sure tomorrow. Miami of Ohio, 2.5-point favorites over Ohio. I believe I'm on that one as well. 4 p.m., Texas, 2.5-point favorites over Georgia. Shout out Rowan. I think I got to take Georgia there, right? You'll learn tomorrow. Because I actually don't know in that game. 7:30, the Raging Cajuns play Marshall, 5.5-point favorites for the Sun Belt. I actually don't know on that one. I would assume Louisiana, but don't take my word for it. SMU, 2.5-point favorites over Clemson. We're going to take SMU. The only thing is they haven't played. If you look at their schedule, haven't played the best of teams overall, so this might be an interesting matchup. I think I got to take SMU there. Then Oregon minus 3.5 over Penn State. Give me Oregon. I'm shocked at this at 3.5. I thought this line should have been bigger. Damn near like 6.5. I totally agree. So I think I'm gonna. Wow. We'll actually talk some Heisman real quick after this too. But yeah, I think I'm on the side of. I gotta take Oregon. I don't understand why it's only 3.5. Feels fishy. Feels like the books know something. But I'm gonna fall for it. Is it really? Maybe it's one of those things. Is Oregon really gonna beat Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State in the same year? It just might. I don't trust James Franklin. We're going to look at the Heisman real quick. I just briefly want to touch this. Look at the odds. So everyone is plus. So you got Cam Ward, Shadur Sanders, Jalen Milroe, Curtis Rourke, Dylan Gabriel, Ashton Jeanty, Travis Hunter. Dylan Gabriel down. Everyone is 50,000 to 1. So basically 10 to win 5,000. You got it between Ashton Jeanty and Travis Hunter. I rebet Ashton Jeanty again. I took him at plus 2,300, I believe, were the odds. He's plus 2,300. It is now down to plus 1,500. That was just to be a hedge because, like I said, I think this is Travis Hunter's award to win. But the fact that they have Ashton Jeanty's odds so high, I would recommend at least putting a small sprinkle on that because I think both these dudes deserve it. I won't be shocked if either wins it, honestly. I just have a feeling that it's going to go towards Travis Hunter because of all the media and everything that's been going on. But I do not mind those odds at all. Army to make the... And we're going to quickly go over some college football playoff odds. I do want to talk to this. South Carolina, plus 900 to make the college football playoffs. I think that's something I am going to sprinkle. I really want to see. It's going to depend how it goes tonight, but I think South Carolina has a real good shot to make it. But the only one that scares me is Alabama's minus 260. So it feels like that's going to be the team that makes it in. Army's plus 4,000, can't get there. The U is plus 800, which is crazy, and SMU is minus 280 to make it. So if I was going to bet anything in this little market right here, I might bet South Carolina plus 900, but with the knowledge that Alabama's probably going to be the team that gets in. But, man, that's probably going to do it for today. Thank you all for watching today's report. Really do appreciate it. Wow. Crazy that it's this point of the season. I mean, literally tomorrow we're going to be going over Pickem. Can't wait to talk about that, by the way. Winners get washed. Shout out that boy. Shout out that boy from Syracuse. I about said Fran McCaffrey. It's not Fran McCaffrey. It's Fran Brown. Shout out that boy, Fran Brown. Winners get washed. and we got Washington Pickem, baby. First win of the season, Pickem. Can't wait to talk about that with everyone. I got my bets for the weekend. Gonna be a great weekend, man. We got 6 teams on buying NFL. Only got 9 games in college, so you best believe we locked in. Thank y'all for watching. Thanks for all the support. Really do appreciate it. I will see everyone back in this feed tomorrow to go over my bets, pick 'em, and break down all the action we're about to see this weekend.